Snubby's Tale. Snubby was a fat little guinea pig. He was perfectly tame and lived in a nice hutch in Leslie's garden. He had plenty to eat and a lovely soft bed to lie on, so he was very, very happy. At least he was very happy till he got out of his cage one night and met Frisky the squirrel, who was scampering about in the moonlight, having a fine game. "Hello there," said Frisky in surprise. "What sort of animal are you? I've never seen a creature like you before."
"Oh," said Snubby, "well, I don't really know what I am. I'm called Snubby."
"Snubby?" said Frisky. "Well, I never heard of Snubbies before, so you're a Snubby. Let's have a look at you." He bounded all around Snubby and then roared with laughter. "You've come out without your tail," he said. "Where is it?"
"My tail?" said Snubby, astonished. "Oh dear, haven't I got one on?"
"No," said Frisky. "What have you done with it? Have you lost it?"
"I must have," said Snubby sadly, looking at Frisky's beautiful bushy tail.
"Well, ask if people have seen it," said Frisky, and he took hold of Snubby's front paw and went off with him. "Look, there's Mrs. Quack. Let's ask her." They went up to a large white duck who was busy diving for food in a nearby pond. She stared at Snubby in surprise when she saw him, for she'd never seen such a creature before. "This is Snubby," said Frisky. "He's lost his tail. Look." Mrs. Quack looked. "Dear, dear," she said. "So he has. What a pity." She wagged her own feathery tail to make sure she had it, and Snubby did wish she had one like hers. "I haven't seen the Snubby's tail," she said, "but Willie the dog is somewhere about, hunting rats. He may have seen it." So Snubby, Frisky, and Mrs. Quack went off together to look for Willie the dog. He was hunting rats and had his head down a hole. He had a fine long tail that wagged when others spoke to him. Snubby did wish he had a tail like that. "Hello, hello," said Willie, pulling his head out of the hole and looking at the others. "What's all this? Whatever is this interesting creature?" "It's a Snubby," said Mrs. Quack and Frisky together. "Isn't he curious? He hasn't a tail. Look, he must have lost it. We wondered if you've seen it." "Ho, ho, no I haven't," said Willie, "but there's an old rat tail he can have if he likes." No, thank you," said Snubby at once. "I'm not going to have a tail like that. I want one like Frisky's, or like Mrs. Quack's, or yours, Willie." "Oh, well," said Willie, "if you're going to be so particular, I'm afraid I can't help you. I haven't seen your lost tail." "Don't be cross, Willie," said Frisky. "You're a clever dog. Just think hard for a minute and see if you can think of some way to get it back Snubby's tail." So Willie thought hard. Then he woofed and said, "Of course, there's the wishing well. If we can get old Mother Turnabout to come with us to the well, she can get Snubby's tail for us." So off they all went to Mother Turnabout's. She was knitting by the fire and was most astonished to see Snubby, Frisky, Mrs. Quack and Willie walking in at the door. "Bless us all," she cried. "What's this? Now what have you come for at this time of night?" "Please, Mother Turnabout, will you come with us to the wishing well and wish back the little Snubby's lost tail for us?" begged Frisky. "He's lost it coming along tonight, and he's so miserable without it." "I've never heard of a Snubby before," said Mother Turnabout, peering at Snubby through her spectacles. "Funny little chap he looks. Well, I'll come, but mind you, creatures, I shall want an egg from you, Mrs. Quack, a score of nuts from you, Frisky, and you'll please guard my house for me for a week, Willie. As for you, little Snubby thing, I don't know if you lay eggs or what you do, but when you've got your tail back you can repay me in some way." They all went out of the door and made their way to the old wishing well in Mother Turnabout's garden. She took a shiny green stone and dropped it down the well, and then she spoke softly. "Well, wishing well, are you listening? Bring back the tail of the little Snubby." She let down a bucket into the water and then slowly pulled it up again. She put her hand into the bucket to get out the tail she expected to find there. "How very strange," she said at last. "There is no tail here. This is the first time that the wishing well has ever failed to grant a wish. I must let the bucket down again." And down it went again, and up it came again, but there was no tail there. Mother Turnabout grunted and walked back to her cottage, sad and puzzled. All the creatures followed her, quite frightened. The old dame sat down in a chair and frowned. "I can't make it out," she said. "Why didn't it grant my wish? Surely, oh surely, the magic hasn't gone out of my wishing well." She stood up and went to the door. She called loudly, "Cinders, Cinders, Cinders!" A big black cat with green eyes came bounding up. He was astonished to see Mother Turnabout's visitors, and he spat rudely at the dog. "Cinders," said the old dame, "I wish for a tale of this little Snubby to come back, for he lost it this evening, and it didn't come back." "Meow, then he didn't lose it," said the cat. "But he must have," said Mrs. Quack, Willie and Frisky. "He hasn't got it on." "Meow, let me smeow," said the cat. So Snubby came forward and then turned himself slowly around backwards. Sure enough, he had no tail. But Cinders looked at him closely, and then he began to laugh, showing all his sharp white teeth. "What's the matter?" cried everyone. "Meow, why, that's a guinea pig, and they don't have tails," said the cat. "He didn't lose his tail. He never had one." "What a joke!" "You said he was a Snubby," cried Mother Turnabout angrily to Frisky. "He said he was," said Frisky. "I didn't. I said my name was Snubby, and so it is," cried Snubby, quite frightened. All the animals looked so fierce that he made up his mind to run, and out of the door he went as fast as 4 little legs could carry him. "After him!" cried Willie, and out they all went, leaving Mother Turnabout in her chair, feeling very glad indeed to think that the magic hadn't gone out of her well after all. Snubby hid under a bush, and Mrs. Quack, Willie and Frisky ran by. Then out he crept and ran back to his little hutch as fast as he could. How glad he was to be there once more! He shut the door with his own little snubby nose, and was pleased to hear the click that told him it was latched. He was safe. "I don't want a silly tail," he thought. "If you have a tail, you have to keep a wagging it, and that would be such a nuisance. I'm lucky to have no tail." And he went to sleep and dreamt that Mother Turnabout had stolen Frisky's tail, and Willie's tail, and Mrs. Quack's as well, and had put them all onto her best Sunday hat. How he laughed when he woke up. Funny little Snubby.